This is probably going to be a bit crowded and not necessarily follow in line, but you'll get a pretty good idea of how this is done. You can find the intercepts right away based on this, but if you do rewrite it first, you would go 5y is equal to 9x plus 120. You would divide everything by 5, and that would give you y is equal to 9 over 5x plus, that would be, oh, it's frozen. Thank you. Sorry. I'm rewriting it about the 9 over 9x plus 120. There's a 5 in front of the y, divide both sides by 5. And you get 24 for this. Okay, so that would be rewriting it. I'd give you a mark for that. Okay. And then you can choose to use your calculator or just do this by hand, finding the intercepts by hand. I think because of space, due to space, I think I'm just going to use my calculator for that. So for the x-intercept, you let y2 equal to 0, second trace 5, right? So I'm going to type this in, and watch how I type this in, okay? When there's a fraction like that, I think I've shown you this already when we did quadratics, right? I tend to put the coefficient in brackets, plus 24. Hit graph. Before I do that, I already know that this is pointing up and the y-intercept is way up there, so I'm already going to make adjustments on my y max. I'm going to go 50 maybe. And there it is. I can see the y-intercept. I cannot see the x-intercept because I have to reduce my x-min a little bit. And that's pretty good. That's a pretty good window there. I let y2 equal to 0. And I'm going to go second trace 5 to find it. So that's negative 13. Negative 13.330. Okay. So that should have been the x-intercept. No matter how you did it, that's the x-intercept that you find. Okay. The y-intercept, easy, right? I think I'm just going to answer it right here. The y-intercept, I'm just going to say it's 24. I'm not even going to bother using my calculator. I already did the work here, so it saves you time there. So 1 mark for that as well, though. So 1 mark, 1 mark. So 3 so far. When x is equal to 4, what's y equal to? I'm going to go second trace 1. X is equal to 4. Y is equal to, so second trace 1. X is equal to 4. Y is equal to 31.2. You actually found the point for 31.2, right? This point is on the line, right? So this is a mark as well. When y is equal to 13, what's x equal to, right? You just go to y2, make that 13, graph it, and then find the intersection. So negative 6.11 is the x value, right? So y2 is equal to 13. Second trace 5. And so x is equal to negative 6.11. You get a mark for that. Today I will say this. If you made a mistake in rewriting, everything will be off, right? So we'll say today you still get 3 out of 5 today. So if it's due to the mistake up here that everything is different, we'll just give you a 3 out of 5, provided you show me all the work. Okay, make it easier there. So next, we do the same thing for B, right? So I'm going to rewrite it real quick. Negative 3y is equal to, the 2x comes over positive, there's a negative 21 there. It stays negative. Divide everything by negative 3. So y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 7. I chose to make it a whole number. It won't always be. So this is a mark, right? For I. This is basically 1bi. Right? For the x-intercept, I'm going to have to type this in if I want to use my calculator, right? So I'm going to watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to turn that equal sign off for now. I don't want that graphed, and I'm going to clear that. I'm going to type this into y2, right? So I go bracket negative 2/3 x plus 7. Why am I leaving that one there? Because I know I'm going to need it later. I'm just turning off the equal sign so it's not being graphed right now. So hit graph. Perfect. It's actually, I don't need to change maybe a little bit the x max. I'm going to change that to 20 to see a bit more, right? And then I go to y equals. I make y3 equal to 0. It doesn't matter, right? So it's that where the intercept happens. So that's y2 is equal to 0, second trace 5, and the intercept is 10.50. And for the y-intercept, this is worth 1 mark, by the way, if you have the 10.5 there. If you want the y-intercept, I'm just going to state 0.7 because I'm basing it on the rewritten form. That is always the y-intercept if you rewrite it, okay? This, watch where my pencil is, this is not the y-intercept, right? Because it's not in the slope-intercept form yet. Here, y is isolated. That's when you know that this is your y-intercept. So 1, 1, so 1, 2, 3 so far, and then we'll repeat for 4 and 5 the same thing. I will not do the keystrokes again. I will just tell you that here y is something, x is something, right? So I'm going to go second trace 1 when x is equal to 4, y is equal to 4.33. You get a mark for that. When y is equal to 13, so I'm going to go y3 is equal to 13, graph it, right? When y is equal to 13, what is x equal to? And that is negative 9. You get a mark for that as well. Same idea. If you made a mistake here, let's take 2 off, so you still get 3 out of 5, because this one is 5 and this one is 5, right? 5 and 5. But if you made a mistake up here, we'll take off 2 marks. We'll still give you 3 out of 5, provided that you went through the steps and you show me your work as well as keystrokes. Right? Last but not least, I'll give you a full mark for this one here. So the intersection between these 2 lines. By the way, we can tell that this one is pointing up, this one is pointing down, right? So they're going to cross like that. Even if they both point up, they will cross, right? It's just, they will be different. So what I do here is now I turn on both equations. I clear y3. I clear that and I just graph. And there it is. Second trace intersect, right? Enter, enter, enter. And that's negative 6.89. So I go second trace 5. And I get negative 6.89. 11.59 is the point of intersection. You get a mark for that. You even get a mark. I'm just going to trust you today. Trust you blindly. But if you made a mistake up here, either for either one of them or both, obviously this will be different. I'll give you the mark for that as well. You just go. I would go, if it's wrong, just go like this, but then next to it go step check, meaning that's what I would want you to do. I would want you to type them in y1, y2, and then find the intersection, right? So you did that, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do. I did not ask you to graph, so don't worry about it. So we are out of 11 with this one. The whole thing is worth 11 marks. So put your name, last name at the top, and a mark out of 11.